So what's going on with the audit at Fort Knox? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm sure you want to know. Hey, everybody, Rex Bear Elite Project. How the heck are you? It's a beautiful day today out here in Southern Colorado. And we have Josh Ward with us from Noble Gold Investments. And we're going to talk about it. Now, I don't know, folks, if you knew about this, but Representative Massey actually introduced a bill to audit the U.S. gold reserves a few months ago. It was all over the news as far as auditing the Fort Knox. You know, President Trump had talked about it. Elon Musk had talked about it. And then as soon as it made the news, it disappeared like just as quick. And that makes me question even more what's going on. Where's the gold? It reminds me of that old commercial, Where's the Beef?
That's exactly
from the early 80s. But anyway, I was just a little kid back then. But Josh, it's great to speak with you. I really appreciate you being a guest on Leap Project. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Rex. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'm excited to talk more about gold, right? Everybody's favorite commodity, especially nowadays with the run that we've seen here. You know, it seems like we're all kind of vindicated, right? We were kind of out there on the pillars for a while there, but I think the last 18 months has really vindicated our position and why it's so important to own metals in your portfolio. Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was looking at some graphs of the S&P and gold, and I was looking at the graphs and the charts of Bitcoin and other opportunities, and gold is absolutely head and shoulders above the rest. And not only gold, but silver is doing really good right now. It's doing amazing. Platinum is doing amazing. I wanted to show this bill real quick. I think that this is really interesting. So this is the actual bill that was introduced to audit U.S. gold reserves. And it's HR 3795, the Gold Reserve Transparency Act of 2025, legislation requiring the general to conduct and publicly release a full audit of gold reserves held by the United States. What do you think about this situation with Fort Knox? I mean, we haven't actually had an audit at Fort Knox for over 50 years.
That's
and
correct.
It seems really weird.
There's never really been an official audit ever.
What's that?
There's never been an official audit ever, right? Nobody really knows what's in Fort Knox. The purity of the bars are not 999 fine, which makes it very difficult. So people don't realize, you know, how the gold ended up in Fort Knox is that it was, you know, in 1933, FDR had an executive order which basically made gold illegal. You were supposed to turn in your $20 gold pieces and all your gold, and the government gave you Federal Reserve notes in return. And they sweetened the pot a little bit. Instead of those $20 gold pieces, they gave you $20.35 in paper money. So the average person went in there and turned in all their gold. And within a year, it went to 35. And we know where it is now, over 4,100 today. So people don't realize that's so the gold that's in Fort Knox is 90%. It's not pure gold. It was the 90% coins that were in circulation for hundreds of years, from pre-1776 to 1933. So the government took in all of those gold coins, melted them down into bars, and put them into Fort Knox. So that's the gold in Fort Knox. It's not pure gold. It's not like, you know, we've been buying it over the years. Our government's been buying it over the years. It was what was turned in by U.S. citizens in the late 1933 to 1940. Right?
Well, so
turning it in.
Do you think that's why they're not opening up the vaults? I mean, do you think it has something to do with security issues, or like most of it's not there? What do you feel? What's your gut telling you? And
my honest opinion is that the metals are not there. They've been lent out, they've been leased, they've been sold over the years. And I think it would cause panic if they audited the Fed and realized that what we're told, the hundreds of billions of dollars of gold that we hold there is not there. I think that would cause panic. And I think a lot of that gold is other countries too. Like the Fort Knox holds, the Federal Reserve holds gold for all sorts of different countries all over the world, right? Especially in New York. So it's not just the United States' gold. A lot of other countries' gold are in the United States too. So once you start auditing the Fort Knox, once you start auditing those accounts and they realize that the metals aren't there, I think that's going to cause a lot of issues. So I think it's just kind of a moot point. You're not going to hear about it anymore. It was kind of a sexy thing to talk about at the time. But I personally don't think we're going to see an audit anytime soon.
This bill that's been presented by Representative Massey, do you see this potentially passing, or do you think it's just going to kind of stay in limbo?
I think the powers that be, the last thing they want to do is kind of get the proverbial nose under the camel's nose under the tent, right? I think it's a slippery slope, and I think that if we do audit the Federal Reserve, I think there's going to be massive discrepancies, or the Fort Knox, I should say, massive discrepancies on what's supposed to be there compared to what's actually there.
So, and let's say hypothetically that happens, that somehow the powers that be lose their control and other people find a way to audit Fort Knox. And then they find out that there's not nearly the amount of gold there that they were told was going to be there. What would happen next potentially?
I think the price of gold would skyrocket overnight. I mean, we could potentially see the price of gold doubling overnight. And it's not just with the Fort Knox here. We're seeing this in the COMEX and the futures market, where billions of dollars of paper gold and silver are bought and sold every single day. And that is what drives price discovery, right? So a lot of people don't realize that gold is a commodity traded on the futures exchange like crude oil or like soybeans. So there's people that are buying paper gold, which is making the price go up, and there's people that are selling paper gold, making the price go down. And that's what drives the spot price going up and down. So I think if we saw something like that happen, I think the rush to cover the shorts once the price explodes would blow the lid off the physical gold market, where everybody would want to take delivery, and it would be like a lot of people leaving one door in a very crowded room, right? It would be very difficult for everybody to leave or to take delivery of their metals at the same time.
Okay.
There's no way that the metals, I just don't see it. I just don't. There's a reason why it hasn't been audited. There's a reason why nobody's been there. There's a reason why the government does certain things in secrecy, right? It's just like the Defense Department, right? I think we have a better chance of getting them to audit the Defense Department before they audit the gold reserves, personally.
Wow. Oh man, that's a pretty wild statement. And you know what? I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised, man. So wild. So folks, I just want to let you know, if you're watching the live stream, we actually have this new feature here on YouTube where we can live stream vertical and horizontal. So if you're watching on your phone and you're watching it in vertical, it's ideal for that. If you're watching it on your computer or your big screen or your TV, and you're watching it and it's vertical and you're like going, wait a second, it's not filling up the whole screen. Just click out and then click back on, because we've got the live stream on the vertical and the horizontal. It's the exact same podcast. It's just two different formats. So just because I had some questions, we've been doing this lately. It's been really successful, and people are like, Rex, what's going on? I'm watching it. I'm watching on the big screen, and it's in a vertical format. Just jump on over to our horizontal. And also, I did want to let you know, before we get too deep into this, that there is an opportunity right now. If you have a 401 or an IRA and you convert it into precious metals through Noble Gold Investments, if you qualify, they will gift you 10 ounces of solid silver to add to your collection. It's 10 1-ounce holiday silver coins. I actually have a screen that I can just show you what they look like, folks. So take a look at this. And this is for Leak Project listeners. So take advantage of this opportunity. 10 ounces of solid silver and some really cool coins to add to your collection, and find out how to qualify on that. I just wanted to point that out real quick. But somebody in the chat is asking me, we're talking a lot about gold right now, but silver and platinum, silver was at like $53 an ounce the other day.
That's correct. Yeah. And we're at 51 and change now. Yeah. It's been a remarkable run. I mean, I remember no more than 18 months ago, we were in the 20s for silver. And now within 18 months, the price of silver has more than doubled. Same thing with platinum, right? I mean, platinum was $800 to $1,000 a year ago, maybe 14 months ago. And now it's pushing 1,600. So we've seen incredible gains in silver, gold, platinum, unprecedented gains. And in the same time, we've seen a huge decline in the dollar. So this is something that we were talking about a little bit earlier, where, I'm making we just made a video here to kind of to paint the picture to our audience, how much value the US dollar has lost in the last 25 years. So, people who haven't been following this for so long, in the year 2000, an ounce of gold was $275 an ounce. So if let's say you invested $10,000 in the year 2000, right, you would have received about 36 1-ounce gold coins, which is a stack this tall of pure 1-ounce gold coins. Okay. You flash forward 25 years later, you can get two and a half coins for $10,000 today. And it's not that gold has become more rare or more scarce or more valuable. It just shows you how much the US dollar has lost purchasing power in the last 25 years. I mean, everyone can think about, oh, if I just bought that house 25 years ago, it was 200 grand. Now it's $1 million or $1.5 million, right?
Right.
It's remarkable to see the loss of purchasing power in the US dollar. And gold is the only measure that you can compare it with, right? You can't compare the stock market because the stock market goes up with inflation, right? It goes up with the more money they print, the higher the stocks are going to go, because there's only so many stocks. And if there's an unlimited amount of money, then the prices only have one way to go, which is up. So
Right.
that kind of skews the metrics. Gold is money. Everything else is credit. You have to compare everything to gold. When I'm buying something, I figure, okay, how many ounces of gold is this going to cost me? How many ounces of silver is this going to cost me? Not how much dollars is this going to cost me, right? How many ounces of gold? And one of my favorite examples of this is everyone says that gasoline is expensive, especially here in California. It's $5-6 a gallon. Well, for 30 years in this country, a gallon of gasoline was between 25 and 30 cents because we were using a silver quarter, a 90% silver quarter. Right. Today, if you still had that silver quarter from 40 years ago, it's worth $7. So you can still get a gallon of gasoline for a silver quarter, right? You just got to have your money in the right asset, not in the US dollar or the Federal Reserve note, but in silver or in gold.
Right. Right.
And it's real simple. All you do is buy it, right? It's not this long drawn out play. You got to buy it low. You got to sell it high. You got to do all this stuff. You just have to buy it and buy as much as you can, as often as you can, and hold on to it.
So are you keeping your eyes open on what's going on in Venezuela right now?
Oh yeah, big time. Absolutely.
What happens if we actually go to war with Venezuela?
Well, I'm not as concerned, to be honest, with Venezuela as I am with Russia and China.
Okay.
Because Venezuela is not as much of a powerhouse, I would say, as when you think of Russia or China. And I don't think Venezuela is going to do anything to put their citizens in jeopardy, right? They're too small of a state, and they're pretty. I would say they're not as significant as China and Russia, right? I mean, I'm more focused on Russia and China than I am Venezuela personally. I mean, anything can happen, sure, but I don't. Venezuela doesn't keep me up at night. Russia and China do.
Sure, absolutely. And one of the things I noticed about China is, so the price of gold right now near all-time highs. I mean, there's been a little bit of a pullback, which I think is healthy in my opinion. I'm not the expert, you are, but with that in mind, I was looking at the amount of gold that China is still usurping, and central banks are usurping tons of gold at these prices, and it's continuing to move up. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, look at this article here. I wanted to pull this up, and folks, I don't know if you've seen this yet. This is very interesting. This is from Kitco. China's 2025 gold purchase is likely 10 times higher than the official 25 tons. Real total reserves top 5,000 tons. Maybe. I mean, is that one of the...
Honestly, it's probably higher than that, right? So people don't realize in China, they don't export any of the gold that they produce. So China is one of the biggest producers of gold, right? They have tons and tons of gold that they're producing, and a lot of them are state-run mines. So none of those ounces of gold that they're mining in China are actually hitting production and being sold to the general public, right? They're being put into their coffers off the books at $600 to $2,000 an ounce, whatever it costs them to pull it out of the ground, right? I mean, because with the price of gold going up, all of these mines have become unbelievably profitable, right? So in America, that's why you're seeing record inflows into the gold ETFs, right? You're seeing record amounts of money flooding into gold stocks, flooding into gold month after month after month, when for the last year we saw record outflows, right? Last year, when especially in the beginning of the year, December, January, February, some of the biggest outflows of money leaving gold ETFs and paper gold into another asset, right? And what have we seen in the last? Everyone's talking about how gold is the digital Bitcoin. Well, what's going on with Bitcoin now, right? I mean, Bitcoin has lost 20, 30, it was down 35% on the month, and it's supposed to be a safe haven, right? The real only true safe haven is gold and silver, right? There's a reason why gold and silver have been used as money for thousands of years, and we're not going to change that, right? And the average fiat currency Every fiat currency that has ever existed since the beginning of time has gone to zero, has gone to nothing, with the average lifespan of about 60 years. Okay. So as we're talking about Venezuela here, right? If you could just print money and that created prosperity, Venezuela would be a powerhouse, right? Zimbabwe would be a powerhouse. All these other countries would be a powerhouse, but that's not the case. Okay. You can't print your way into prosperity. And we're starting to learn that here in America. We've really kind of taken advantage of the world. I mean, we don't produce anything in the United States, right? We don't make anything. We don't produce anything. We give other countries that use their resources to actually make real goods and service and actual products. And we give them US dollars that are borrowed, and they give us actual goods. And we've benefited off of that, right? That's why things are relatively cheap in America. But what's going to happen when these countries start developing and all these products that they're making they're going to sell to their own population? They're not going to be shipping it back to the United States. And I think that's the problem and I think Trump sees that, right? Trump's a very smart guy. So he sees that all this manufacturing has left America, and he's trying to bring it back. But it's not a flip of a coin. It's very difficult to come back to America with all the laws and the regulations and our currency's purchasing power when you're making goods, right? It's a hell of a lot easier to make something in Mexico for at a low cost than to set up a shop in California and hire people at $20 an hour to make something that's competitive in this market. It just makes it so tough. So we're kind of caught in a catch-22.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to show this chart real quick and get your take on this. This is from you guys, but it's showing the S&P to gold ratio. Yeah. Could you detail this for us?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, the gold ratio, so for a couple of years, the S&P was outperforming gold while gold was stagnant. And we've seen an unbelievable reversal in the last 12 months to where, gold has surged 60% in 2025, while stocks have only gained 16% in that same time frame. So it shows you that gold is outperforming the S&P by almost 4 times. I mean, it's outperforming equities by a 1.5 standard deviation, which is huge, which is like off the charts. I mean, this is one of the best years that we've seen in gold since the 1970s. And I think a lot of people don't realize too, an ounce of gold in the 70s, it went from like $35 an ounce to $800 an ounce in the 70s.
Wow. People
don't realize that, right? We were under $50 on gold in the 70s. And then by the time the late 70s came, early 80s, it went up to $800 per ounce. Wow. Which is unbelievable. Silver went from a couple dollars an ounce to $50 an ounce, right? That's part of the reason why, at Noble here, we're so bullish on silver. You can still buy silver today at a discount to its 1981 price. I mean, name one thing on the planet that you can buy at a discount to its 1981 price. You can't.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because because the average person isn't going to buy their first ounce of silver until it's $500 an ounce. That's why.
Okay.
That's just the reality. I mean, the average, we've been brainwashed. Like my dad is 85 years old. He taught me about gold and silver at a very young age, and he passed that on to me. Nice. There's a lot of people don't even know what an ounce of. I mean, we tried to give away ounces of silver the other day on the street. People wouldn't even take it. Right? The average person.
What?
Yes, the average person, Rex, has no idea the value of gold, silver. It means nothing to them. Right. Wow. And that's going to change. I mean, less than 1% of the population holds metals as an investment. Let me repeat that. Less than 1% hold metals as an investment. Imagine when that turns 5 or 10%, what the prices are going to be and the premiums are going to be and how hard it's going to be to find. Right. I mean, silver is used in everything from solar panels to bombs, to cars, to solid state batteries, to everything, jewelry. Silver is used in everything, and there is no substitute. And now with the prices going up, we're starting to see, the premiums have come back down to earth. I mean, that's one of the best things with the prices going up with both gold and silver is that the premiums have come down, which is the difference between the paper price and the actual physical price it is to buy the metal. Right. I mean, we're seeing some of the lowest ranges that we've seen. I mean, coins and bars of silver I have within $1 of an ounce of each other. And I remember back in 2020, it got up as high as $4 to $6 difference per ounce if you wanted a coin over a bar. because they weren't minting it, they weren't manufacturing it. So we're starting, so it's and especially with this decline, it's a really good opportunity for people, right? We saw gold go up $1,000 an ounce with zero downturn, right? It went from 3,000 to 4,000 in 6 months. And there was maybe 1 or 2 down days for gold. Right? We've seen silver go from 30 to 50, same. We've seen platinum go from 1,000 to over 1,600, all in the same time frame. While the stock market's up pennies, right? 10%, 15%. Right? And not to mention, what about gold stocks, right? I mean, I've seen gold stocks this year up 500%.
Wow.
Right, because they're leveraged. So when you're betting on this is a good segue into physical versus stocks and certificates of gold. When you're buying a gold miner, like a gold mining company, you're buying exposure to that company, right? So you're buying equity in that company. So if they don't find any gold, even if the price of gold is going up, they don't find any, or they have negative outlooks or whatever it may be, their stock could go down while the price of gold is going up. And people don't realize that, right? They think that they're buying this miner thinking that, oh, gold's gone up, the miner should be up just as much. And that's not always the case. That's the huge difference between what we offer here at Noble Gold is we only do physical gold and silver. We don't do certificates. We don't do stocks. We don't do hopes and dreams. None of it. The only products that we offer is actual physical gold and silver, actual coins and bars, which is a big difference than if you get talking to your financial advisor who wants to sell you gold ETFs or gold stocks, right? Those are securities. Those have exposure to the price of gold, but you cannot take delivery of those, right? There's a big difference. It's like, I liken it to having a paper gun or having a real gun, right? You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I see the same thing with physical gold, right? There's the whole point of owning gold and silver is that you own the physical, not the paper asset. Right? The paper asset's better than if holding cash, but it's inferior to the actual physical metals.
So there's a lot of news and chatter about shortages of silver. I've actually got an article pulled up, Silver Supply Crisis, 5-year shortage reaches 1 year or 1 full year of global production.
Yep.
So
that's exactly right. Well, people don't realize half the silver that's mined every year goes straight into making products and making goods, right? Solar panels, solid state batteries, half of the silver that's mined every single year. And if, right now there's been a record of people selling silver is the reality of it, right? The refineries across the country, a lot of them aren't even buying scrap silver anymore because they have months and months of supply to where they don't know what the price is going to do in the next 2 or 3 months when they get around to being able to refine that silver and sell it. So they don't want to sit on it forever. I mean, there's reports all over the country. All the biggest refineries are not buying 90% silver right now, whether it's junk silver or forks, spoons, sterling silver sets, that kind of stuff, right? They're not buying it. And if they do, they want to buy it back below the spot price, $3 or $4 per ounce. So nobody's selling it, right? Nobody's going to give away that to the refinery. So we're seeing something happen in the silver market that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think when the prices go up even more and more, the demand is really going to start to turn and the shortages are going to become unbelievable, right? And we could see silver go from 50 to 100 in a couple months, but you're going to be buying silver at 120 to maybe $130, right? You're not going to be able to buy it for 105 or 107 like you can today.
Silver tards unite.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and silver's, we're finally getting our day in the sun here. Silver's kind of been the slow horse for the last 10 years. I mean, I remember buying my first 100 ounces of silver with extra student loan money.
Nice.
We're talking 15 years ago. Right. And I still have that. I still have those, the 10 ounce bars that I bought from extra student loan money.
Wow.
So, and it's gone up 4x, since almost 5x since I bought it.
Wow. Okay. So let's say a new investor or somebody that is wanting to get into the metals space, they can get, gold or silver or platinum. Yes. Where do you see the most upside?
Personally, I think silver and platinum are still the most undervalued compared to gold. Okay. Gold's still undervalued as well, But I personally think we're going to see silver hit $100 an ounce long before we see gold hit $8,000 an ounce, right? So for gold to double now, it'd have to go to 8,000, call it, and for silver to double now, it's going to go to 100. I think we're going to see silver around 100 before we see gold at around 5,000, maybe 5,500.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
Because okay, well, that's pretty big. There's a lot of, let me show this real quick. This is from, all right, let me pull this up. Share screen. So there's some big banks and big institutions that are predicting $5,000 an ounce gold in 2026.
Right, 2026, yeah. But most of the biggest banks on the planet are predicting that.
And you see silver potentially hitting $100 an ounce next year then.
Around the time, that's exactly right. I right now we've seen, during COVID, I saw the silver to gold ratio, which is something that every gold and silver investor should be watching. And this is what helps me determine whether silver is undervalued or overvalued compared to gold, right? Because there's thousands of years of recorded history on this, right? It's not me making it up. It's gone up for thousands of years. So historically, the silver to gold ratio, which means how many ounces of silver buys you 1 ounce of gold, has been 20-1. Okay. For 250 years in America here, it was pegged at 20-1. The government set the ratio. You can, a silver $1 Morgan was $1, right? And it was just under an ounce of silver. A $20 gold piece was just under an ounce of gold. So you can exchange 20 of those silver pieces for one of those gold pieces at any time for hundreds of years. So it was pegged at 20-1. And historically, it's been 20. I mean, the lowest it's been is about 10-1. Highest it's been is 120-1 during COVID. So, we saw when silver dipped below 20 and gold was over 2,000, it was over 100-1, right? It was over 100. It was almost 120-1 ratio during that time in the early 2000s or early 2020, 2021 is when we saw that ratio peak, hit the highest it's ever been in history. So for the last 2,000 years of recorded time, silver has never been cheaper relative to gold in 2020, 2021. Right now, we're about 85-1, 83-1. So we've seen that ratio getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think eventually we're going to see silver catch up. And I see that $100 and 5,000 right at 50-1. Which is one of the metrics that a lot of my clients are using to where maybe they're going to convert some of that silver back into gold now. So I have, a lot of my clients have bought silver at 100-1. So they got 100 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold. And when silver takes off and it's 50-1, they can convert that silver tax and penalty free in their IRA into gold and have twice as much gold than if you just bought gold to begin with.
So how do the tax benefits work with that?
Well, for IRAs, right? There's no taxes or penalties when you're buying and selling in an IRA, right? Okay. That's the tax advantage of buying and trading in an IRA as opposed to like a cash account, like a brokerage account. So when you buy and sell stocks in a cash account or a brokerage account, every time you sell a stock, that's a taxable event. Okay. In IRAs and retirement accounts, there's no taxable event. You don't pay taxes when you sell a stock. You only pay taxes when you take a distribution, when you take the money out of the IRA. That's when you pay the tax. So you can buy and sell 1,000 times a stock or a gold and silver and not pay any taxes in an IRA, right? You only pay taxes when you take a distribution. So when you either take delivery of the metals or you sell the metals to cash and take out the cash. That's when you pay taxes in an IRA, is that time of distribution. It doesn't matter when you buy and sell it. So, I have tons of clients that were buying silver when it was $12 an ounce, and they're selling some now to get into gold because the ratios are coming down, right? They bought it at 100. Now it's at 85. They're going to get more gold today than if they just bought gold to begin with. And I think we're going to see silver outperform gold for the foreseeable future. Silver is such a strategic metal. It was just added to the our government's list of metals that are our strategic metal alliance. Silver was just added to that, just like uranium, just like the lithium, just like all the other important metals and rare earth minerals. Silver was added to that list, and that was very quiet in the last couple months. So, the fact that you can still buy silver today at a discount to its 1981 price and you could buy silver at 85 to 1 to gold. To me, that just screams that silver is still stupid undervalued. Okay. And
now,
you can always convert that silver into gold later on, right? When the ratio comes back down, you can convert that silver into gold.
And then, so if somebody converts their 401 through you guys, Noble Gold Investments, and then they want to do that, like they want to swap some metals around, some silver into gold, or gold into silver, or platinum, or any of those variables, they call you up, or do they go online and do it?
No, they call me up. It would be considered an exchange. We can do it the same day, right? So it's not like we're waiting around to sell this or do that, right? You know, I've been doing them all week this week. So a client calls, "Hey, Josh, we've done really well on the gold. I really like what I see with silver. I want to sell some of my gold and get into silver before it takes off." And we can all do it in the umbrella of the IRA, where there's no taxes and no penalties, right? Because there's no distribution, there's no taxable event. All we're doing is converting just like we converted their stocks into gold or silver when they first came to us. We can convert that silver into gold without paying any taxes at any time.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. I mean, and a lot of people, the average person has no idea that you can hold physical gold and silver in your IRA, right? When you get set up with a company and you start working for a company and they automatically put you in the stock market, they automatically put you in the S&P. It's just automatic. You don't have the option to hold metals in your company's 401k. It's just not an option. So most people, they've never even heard of it. They were not even aware of it. So, but once you leave an employer, so if you leave a 401k or you turn 59 and a half, then you can roll over your 401k at will. But if you're still an active employee there and you're before the age of 59 and a half, you're stuck into that plan. You're stuck in the stock market. I talk to so many people, Rex, where they're 55 years old, they're working at this company for 20 years. They want out of the stock market, and there's nothing I can do. You can't move your account with an active 401k until you're 59 and a half, or you no longer work there. So that's an important thing to go over with your listeners, right? Because I get the calls all the time and there's nothing I can do. But if it's an IRA or you're over 59 and a half, we can convert those accounts at will, right? Get it out of the stock market. You've had a great run in the stock market. You've had unprecedented gains. We're really starting to see the Magnificent Seven start to fall. We're seeing a lot of, the fear is at an all-time high right now in the stock market. And it's a good time to kind of sell your stocks while they're at all-time highs and diversify them into precious metals before we see the stocks fall and the precious metals go up even more, right? Because then you're going to get less ounces for your money, right? Nobody ever got hurt selling at the all-time high, right? People don't realize that. And the bulls and the bears both make money, and the pigs get slaughtered.
I love that. That's it. Man. So I was going to bring up a joke about pigs, but I don't know if it's appropriate. My friend said that he thinks that pigs are actually politicians reincarnated. And I was like, wow.
He's not far off.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Just joking. We love you, politicians. You're amazing. What am I looking at here? What is this chart or these charts?
So let me see. Let me pull this up for us. Yeah.
I got this earlier, and I was like, okay, because there we go. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Yep.
There's 4 charts. There's 4. Maybe we should start up here on these 2.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it shows you that unlike America here, well, all of our tax dollars go to fund people that are in the country illegally and people who don't work. China's doing the opposite, right? They're flooding money into places where they can do business and they make money. I mean, the flows to high income countries look like 10 times the size of the flows aid to developing countries, right? Wow. So China is not going into these countries. They're very strategic. They're much like the US. They don't go into countries unless the countries have something to offer them. So, and it's the same thing with the United States, right? We don't go into other countries and start war unless they have gold or rare earth minerals or oil or something that we can take from them. Mm-hmm. And that's part of what Trump's doing right now, right? Is he's making all these agreements with countries, and in there he's signing where the strategic metals like lithium and all the rare earth minerals that we need for AI chips and everything else in the new age economy. He's making deals with those countries that we can mine the product, right? He's making sure that in the next 20 years we still have lithium to mine to produce the chips. He's thinking down the road, and these charts show that China's doing the same thing, right? They're not blowing their money on aid or any of this other nonsense, right? They're using it to make themselves a powerhouse.
Right. Well, man, I'll tell you, it's
about Venezuela, right? That's why I'm worried about Russia and I'm worried about China. Because imagine if Trump's not going to come out one day and say, "Hey guys, I can't pay Social Security because I got to pay the interest to the Chinese," right? That's never going to happen. Okay, we owe China so much money, and all the government's going to do is going to print new money and pay China. Yeah. And it's going to devalue our currency, right? They're never going. People talk about gold confiscation. I hear this all the time. Like, oh, is the government going to confiscate gold again? No way, right? First of all, gold hasn't been used as money for over 100 years, so that's going to be a little problem. And nobody owns any gold. The average U.S. citizen doesn't have any gold. What the hell are they going to confiscate? The average person maybe has a wedding ring with gold,
right? A necklace that's 14 karat.
That's it, right? They don't have any of their money in gold. They don't own any actual real gold, right? It doesn't exist. So it's just a very small 1% of the population actively invests in gold and silver and holds their wealth in gold and silver. Less than 1% of the population. So it's out of 100 people that you see on the street, one person invests in gold and silver, and the other 99 don't even know what it is. Couldn't tell you whether a Hershey bar is worth more than an ounce of silver or not. I mean, again, on our videos, I can't give it away. I'm on the street trying to give silver and gold away. People are looking at me like I have a third eye.
Oh, I got to pull that up. I was one of the first people to watch that video where you were handing out gold backs,
yeah, in Beverly Hills, yeah.
And people were
nobody wanted them.
It was, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, but man, come over and visit me in Pagosa Springs. Like, I'll be happy to. I got to show this to people real quick. Let me pull this up.
And they're fun videos to make, right? It's kind of shows the absurdity of where we are in this day and age.
I love this.
Yeah,
look at this guy.
Yeah, he's looking at it. He's like, "What the hell is this? How do I sell it? Who do I sell it to?" No, you hold on to it, right? You don't sell it. You hold on to it. This is your first little bit of gold, right? Don't piss it away. Don't trash it. Hold on to it. Man, I use gold and silver on a weekly basis. So people always ask me, Josh, I like gold and silver, but how do I use it? I mean, how is it usable? Well, each one of those silver coins is a $50 bill, right? Next time you go out to dinner or you have a tip that you want to leave for dinner, leave some silver, leave some gold backs, right? Yeah. Teach people about it. I use silver to pay my dentist, my barber, my handyman, my HVAC guy, my lawyer. I mean, pretty much as many people as I can, I pay with gold and silver. Gold is money. Silver is money, right? Start using it. Start talking to people. Ask people. If some guy comes over to your house to do something, to do some handyman work or to fix the toilet or whatever it may, fix the roof, ask him, "Hey, do you want to get paid in silver? Or do you want to get paid in US dollars?" And you would be shocked at how many people want to be paid in silver or want to be paid in gold. You would be shocked, right? And the only thing you're not doing is asking. That's why you don't know.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I got to tell you, Josh, you're awesome, man. This has been a great interview. I love your energy and Noble Gold, man. I've been with you guys, I think, for like 8 years now. I've bought gold and silver and platinum from you guys. I have friends and family that have bought gold and silver and platinum from you guys. I have friends that have converted their 401s through you guys, and nothing but love and good vibes, man, and good responses from everybody. And in finishing, what would you like to share with our audience?
Well, I want people to know that you haven't missed the boat. I've heard a lot of people saying that, oh, I've been following gold since it was 2000 and now it's 4,000 and I don't know. And those are the type of people that are going to be saying the same song and dance when gold's at today. Okay. The amount of gains that we're going to see here, I think in a very short period of time, are going to make this 40-60% run that we've seen seem like nothing. I think we're going to go on a historical run, especially with silver and platinum, to where, we could see, I'll call it on your show. I think we're going to see in the next 2 years, we could see the price of silver double overnight, or we see, silver goes from 60 to 120, or it goes from 40 to 80. I have a feeling we're going to see in a very short period of time of the price of silver doubling, and you won't be able to get your hands on it. So you want to take the position early, right? Nobody got hurt taking a position 6 months early. If you wait until the crash happens, if you wait until the stock market collapses, till the dollar collapses, it's going to be too late, and you're going to be the one buying you're going to be the one holding the bag, right? You don't want to be the one holding the bag. Again, I think the average person out there is going to buy their first ounce of silver when it's over $100 an ounce. And I don't think there's anything that you or I could say to convince them that. I think that's just going to be the reality of it. Where you're just seeing everybody talking about it, everybody investing in it, and it's going to be the new norm. That's when the average person is going to buy their first ounce. So your listeners are above and beyond the average person, right? They have their, you're watching your show, Rex, and I'm sure watching a lot of other shows that are showing the alternative assets that are available to people. And I think it's important to take a position if you haven't. Okay. That's what I want to leave with everybody. If you guys haven't taken a position, take one. Get your first ounce of silver in your hands. Okay. It will change the way you think of money forever. Can you hear me, Rex? We lost sound here.
Oh man.
I got you. I'm sorry. I'm back on here.
I was on mute.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
How long was I on mute?
I was like 20 seconds. I was checking everything, and I was like, oh, it's probably on my end here. I'm not real tech savvy here, right? I'm good with gold and silver, not computers.
All right. Well, it was my fault. As I was saying, folks, give Noble Gold a call, 1-877-646-5347. Let them know Rex from Leak Project sent you, and say, hey, I want to convert my 401. How do I qualify for those 10 ounces of solid silver for free?
Yes.
And they will let you know. And thank you so much, Josh. This has been a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to speaking with you again.
Absolutely, Rex. I appreciate you having me on. And if any of your listeners want to call and ask for me, I'm here to help go over questions. We have a lot of great people that work at Noble Gold who are seasoned veterans at picking out metals and helping tailor packages, right? So, we're not doing the semi-numismatic coins you never heard from that are graded or proof or any of that nonsense, right? We shy away from that for good reason. We focus on the best value, most ounces for your money, most highly liquid gold and silver coins available. So if you want to go over those options, give us a call. And I appreciate your time today, Rex.
Absolutely, Josh. Appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Be excellent to each other and keep being the change the world needs to see.